But this, the way I do it is more for people who have a yard, a little bit of space where they can make a bigger compost pile. I have always wanted a composter, but they're expensive. I didn't want to spend that kind of money, and I've heard good things and bad things about it. So I just decided to do it my own way. I have this 25-gallon plastic trash bag, plastic trash can that I wasn't using. So I thought it would be perfect for compost. So I bought these 39-gallon bags at the grocery store. You get like 12 of them for $2.50. And that's what I use to line this trash can. I put 2 bags in here, and one I'm going to close up when I get done. Now, I always start with dead leaves. The brown stuff is already partly decomposed, so I put that in the bottom. One of the problems about composting this time of year is it's early in spring and there's not a lot of green that you can use. It's just getting started. Lucky for me, I have this old lemon tree in my backyard that was here when I bought the house 30 plus years ago. And this year it just went crazy, even though we got no rain, and it was taking over the yard. So I got my shears, I trimmed it up, and I used the leaves for compost. The good thing about this kind of green is it smells wonderful, and it kind of counteracts the stinky stuff that I'm going to put in on top of it. So here's my bucket of leaves. Put that in on top of the decomposing leaves. Now this will look like a lot, but it's really not, because it's going to decompose and you'll have less than half by the time you're ready to use it. So we just push that down and we get ready for the next bucket. Next, I put in okay, where'd it go? Ah, there it is. It's the stinky stuff. I can't find, oh, right in front of me. And what's in here is all the stuff that I clean out my refrigerator with. So when I have carrots or Brussels sprouts or anything, any kind of vegetable that I forgot about in the back of the refrigerator, and I don't realize it till the end of the month, I pull it out, put it in one of these 5-gallon buckets, and I put a lid on it. And by the end of about 2 months, it's full. So I take that and I put that on top of the green. Also, there's a lot of rotten fruit, just about anything that you would normally throw out in the garbage. Use it for your compost. Next, I put in some good soil. I noticed Simeon and I seem to use the same soil. This Patio Plus is wonderful. So that's what I always try to use. You can pick it up at Home Depot. Early every spring, it goes on sale. That's a good time to stock up. So we put that in. So we're almost done. Next, I have a second bucket of dried brown leaves, everything brown. It's already halfway decomposed. So I finish off with that and put that on top. Pack it down. And then you finish off with what Susan calls, what do you call it, Susan? The piece de resistance? Urine. I use 25 to 30 ounces. The thing about urine is you have to make sure the urine is clean. It can't have any chemicals in it, like if you're diabetic, you take something for that, or high blood pressure, cholesterol, whatever. Do not use that urine because those chemicals will show up in your soil and they will show up in whatever you use that soil on. So get clean urine, and it's very strong. So I mix it half and half with water. I pour it in a bucket. Then add water. Mix it up a little bit. And I wet everything with that. Now, there is one ingredient I don't think was mentioned in the second meeting that I like to use, and that is horse manure. If you live in this area, the perfect place to get it is at the Equestrian Center at Fort Ord. They actually pay people to come and haul away the horse manure. They pile it up there. They welcome anybody who wants it. So I take a few buckets down there and I fill up my bucket, bring them home, and that's what I use in my compost. Then the inner bag, make sure you tie it up as tightly as you possibly can. Use clothespins or anything you need to. I like these self-tie bags because they close very well. So I close up the inner bag, tie it as airtightly as I possibly can. And then I put on this airtight lid. Now, it's a dark can. The good thing about that is if you store it in your yard in an area that gets sun all day, it will heat up this trash can, which will help with the decomposition. After about 3 months, or until the dirt turns black, you will have the most fantastic soil possible. It's wonderful, and your plants will grow like gangbusters. Any questions?
Any question? Yes, everyone, please, before give Miss Brenda a round of applause. Did such an amazing job doing that live.
Thank you.
That's awesome, Miss Brenda. And Miss Robin does have a question. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm interested, how many containers do you have going at once? And then,
Oh,
would you use that, would you combine that, like if you're planting a plant, would you use part of that and then regular soil or just that soil, or how do you do that?
I use this with the Patio Plus soil. Patio Plus is wonderful, but this will give it an extra boost. And you'll notice that your blooms are bigger, your plant is healthier.
So you would do half patio and half compost?
I usually use about 2/3 patio,
Okay,
1/3 compost.
okay. Great.
Great question, Robin. I do have a question. So we didn't see how much manure was in there. So we did 2 full 5-gallon buckets of brown and then 1 5-gallon of green. And then you did the comp or the dirt. How much was the manure? Was it a full?
1 5-gallon dirt, 1 5-gallon manure.
Okay. Okay. So it was a full 5-gallon. Okay.
Yes,
Great.
it was.
Okay. Great. That's what I wanted to know. Does anyone have any comments or questions for Ms. Brenda?
Oh, yeah.
I'll go ahead, Ms. Robin.
Yeah, so my other question was, like, do you have several of these going at the same time? In your yard?
No, I only have one per season, and that's usually plenty. Also, I wanted to say, because this is a trash can and not a composter, you have to be sure to mix it up every 2 weeks. My house is on an incline. So I just roll this, it has wheels on it. I roll it to the top of the hill, turn it on the side, push it down the hill. So if I do that 2 or 3 times, that every 2 weeks, that mixes it up really well. Make it easy.